Let me tell you guys a story.
Faith will show you possibilities. Fear will make you think the worst. Why sit here till we die?
We got our firstborn child, and he was diagnosed with autism. And I'm like, what do you do with a child? They told you how first. What does someone do from there? Had I not gone through the loss I went through, maybe the loss of divorce, I wouldn't have been able to meet you, because there's a passion that has been driven from that pain. So maybe if I was still there, I wouldn't have been needing, you girls. In my seasons of loneliness, these have been spaces for me to grow. They've been moments when I have sat with myself, I have sat in my ashes, I have talked to myself, not loudly like some people like. Yeah, but at least just being able to think about, so what next? Wow, disclaimer, ladies. The far we have come, imposter syndrome will not be a part of us.
Yeah.
Be ready. So we are women who are healing, and as we heal, we are taking steps in our lives. We are not just sitting and saying, I'm waiting to heal.
Confronting that which we keep avoiding should make you come out of the gate and move.
I can open my heart and I can receive the blessings.
We are looking to have a healed community together. Stop loving the dream. It requires me to stop living in the ruin of it.
Healing is possible.
Healing is possible.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are. Welcome back to this podcast. This is For Him podcast, Healing in Motion. And we are back with a very interesting conversation today. My name is Clara Muyera. I am a quarter of the For Him podcast. Hi, my name is Neno Ndiema, and I'm a quarter of the For Him podcast.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivy Mdedi and I am a quarter of the For Him podcast.
Hi, my name is Wamboi Angelica. You can call me Angie, and I am a quarter of the For Him podcast.
And collectively, we are
The For Him podcast.
So welcome back. Today we're going to delve into a different topic, and today we're going to talk about unexpected provision. Our scripture remains 2 Kings chapter 7, and we're going to read from verses 5 to 7 to give us context. At dusk, they got up and went to the camp of the Arameans. When they reached the edge of the camp, no one was there, for the Lord had caused the Arameans to hear the sound of chariots and horses and a great army, so that they said to one another, "Look, the king of Israel has hired the Hittites and Egyptian kings to attack us." So they got up and fled in the dusk and abandoned their tents and their horses and donkeys. They left the camp as it was and ran for their lives. The men who had leprosy reached the edge of the camp, entered one of the tents, and ate and drank. Then they took silver, gold, and clothes and went off and hid them. They returned and entered another tent and took some things from it and hid them also. Welcome. So today we're going to delve into when healing looks different. All right.
Yeah.
So for the men with leprosy, they encountered provision, abundance, when they decided to move from the gate. All right. And so the question we're going to tackle today: have you ever found overflow where you expected loss? And maybe we can start with Angelica.
Have I ever found overflow where I expected loss? Yes. Yes. Where did I expect loss and I found overflow? When I left my work. That is one area when they started doing business. So what I thought, this unexpected field that I didn't know, has exposed me to, different clients and doing jobs that I never thought I could be able to do. Meeting people I never thought I would have the opportunity to meet. So that to me was has been an opportunity that I wouldn't have had I remained in the office. It is an opportunity that I would never have found, one, or even when I left employment, had I decided to just sit and wallow and, then that is an opportunity I would not have even thought of getting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And even maybe the other thing would be community. And my first community is even you guys. Had I not gone through the loss I went through, maybe the loss of divorce, I wouldn't have been able to meet you because there's a passion that has been driven from from that pain. So maybe if I was still there, I wouldn't have been needing, you girls. So
That's true.
I think that's I found overflow, and I've really, found a real community within you girls. So yeah.
So moving has brought you to a better place.
Oh yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm so happy. And freedom. So sometimes we look at everything to be bad, but the freedom that has come with just being alone like this is also very good. I would probably not have experienced it at this age. Yeah.
Amazing. So the 4 lepers, they expected rejection because of their situation. Yeah. They maybe expected to be shamed, or maybe they expected to be killed. They didn't know what was there. They were going, if we die, we die.
Yes.
But they met provision.
Yeah.
So how is this overflow for you? Kaiwi?
Wow. I think when you mentioned the lepers expecting rejection, I think that is where I was when I was launching my book. I didn't expect anyone to take interest in what I would want to write.
Yeah.
Or rather take interest in what I would want to share. But instead, I got what can I even say? I got enormous encouragement. I received grace. I received help. I received opportunities from just launching this book, because everybody was like, wow, I need this book for my daughter. Oh, I love this content. I need to share this with my cousin. I need to share this with so and so. I have a friend of mine who is making the churchical book part of their curriculum in their space, and they want to learn. So I expected rejection, or I didn't expect applause, but I received a lot of grace. I got a lot of help. People telling me, this is what you should do, market it like this. My husband was like, yes, let's do this cover like this. Let's push it there. Take this book to this person. And I received a lot of opportunities to meet you guys. I'm telling you, if it was not for the book, I don't know if I would be here with you guys, with celebs like you guys. So I didn't expect anything, but instead I got an overflow of help, grace, opportunities to be here and minister to people through healing and through healing in motion. And I it's just unexplainable how these things can occur by just taking that step to come out. What if I had just stayed with all my notes in my diary in my house? You could be
Your
only
tattered diary.
my tattered diary. You could only be 3 lepers.
We can't.
But now we can't. Because that step of just taking that message out there has gotten me to sit here with you guys, and also to get to share our stories with you also. So unexpected overflow comes mostly when you just want to step out there.
Amazing.
Where have I found overflow where I expected loss? Yes. Let me tell you guys a story. I moved to the church we are all in now, not necessarily out of will. We were moving schools for our children because where we were and the season we were in, we were not going to be able to afford the school they were in. So we needed to raise a lot more school fees. And I don't have one child.
You definitely know I have.
Group of schools.
Group of schools.
Group of
My
children.
babysitter.
So because God already, like I told you guys, another place I expected loss and I got overflow is children. So now the marriage and the children, they're enough. Yeah.
Yes.
So looking at the 4 kids and we're like, well, okay, we are likely to pay a very high amount for their fee when they're younger and will not be able to prepare for their future. You get that difference, yeah? So if the fee that I'm paying in grade school
Yes.
is getting to $500,000 thereabout, by the time I'm getting to uni, I probably will not have saved much. So we sat down with hubby and we looked at our work situations, both of us, and we said, no, I think it's important that we make a move. We even didn't know where we were moving, to talk of lepers. We thought to ourselves, if we continue sitting here, these children are growing up. So the 4th one was going to soon join school. That was scary. While they're a joy, at that point we were thinking we need to prepare for them. Otherwise, we'll be very frustrated when trying to raise school fees every time. So what happened? We decided, okay, so let's find a school. Then the school will determine where we will live. You get her? So we go to the place. We love the school. But now a place to live. We cannot operate from Athi River. We were living in Athi River at the time. Anyway, so long story short, we had to find a home near school so that the children don't have to wake up extremely early and try to beat traffic just to get to school and sleep. You get her? So anyway, long story short, we finally found a place to stay.
Yes.
Not too far from the school. But for us, we were sort of feeling like it's a loss because where we were living, we had a church community, we had all that. Then now you've come here, we don't know anyone, you just want a good school. Hey. So then it became now the homework of looking for a church. And I didn't know that looking for a church can be work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's wow.
It is work.
It is work because
A
getting
true Bible-based church, teaching the true gospel.
and then not just true gospel, that truth is actually being lived in the community. Because sometimes the pulpit is doing a very good job. Then you're like, what happens between the pulpit and and the people? So we were a bit hesitant. What church do we go to? And truth be told, the church we are in now, all of us, is the church we visited first.
Wow.
One, because Percy had met hubby in another TV station where Percy does some content. And I think he really liked how Pastor was breaking down God's word. So we said, okay, let's try. And still, clearly, we are visiting 4 years later. But now, what loss did I expect? I thought it will take me a very long time to even begin to be part of the community, find meaning, create. Say it again. In adult friendships.
That's friendship.
Then I meet Clara, then I wonder who is this, then I wonder, hey, and this one looks like she's very... In fact, the past statement Angelica ever asked me was, what's wrong with your social media? I'm thinking, for you, what is wrong with you? Live your life. I'm living mine. Yeah, but those are the questions that I needed to hear. So anyway, when I finally thought of the book and where to launch it, I went to talk to Percy. Remember, I was the first among all of us to launch the book. So that was breaking ground in its own way. Going to Percy, I'm thinking he will tell me first and foremost to produce, I don't know how much money, just to hire the space. Because I'm even a new member. Really, who even cares? The support I got, the encouragement, the people coming together. How people were not willing to leave even after we have finished the launch. Half the time you probably imagine you will, as soon as you have cut the ribbon for the book, people are out because they need to go. And people stayed and I got such favor. I was like, okay, wow, that is an overflow where honestly, I even didn't have expectations. You don't even expect loss. You're like, I don't have expectations. If they don't accept me, I'm a newcomer. I've not been in the church for years, so I guess I found overflow and I'm really, really grateful. I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
And our stories keep looking the same because even for me, when I was launching my book, the launch was supposed to start at 2. So I came in at 1 and there was only one person. And I was like, okay, this is gonna flop. Then I went to do a changeover of my clothes and I came back and the whole place was full. And I saw faces. I was amazed. I was seeing people I have never seen, but they were eager to hear, what is this ashes you're talking about? So anyway, for me, what overflow have I experienced when I expected loss? In my seasons of loneliness, I could say, these have been spaces for me to grow. They've been moments when I have sat with myself, I have sat in my ashes, I have talked to myself, not loudly like some people like. Yes, but at least just being able to think about, so what next? And in that moment, there are things I began to do that actually began to bring me to spaces where I've been asked to talk to this group and to that group, and I'm like, me,
Wow.
Clara, what do you mean? Because after divorce, you expect that you will be rejected.
Oh, yeah.
In some spaces, you will be
Oh,
rejected.
yeah.
But healing for me, especially in the space where I am, has been really graceful because people have been gracious just to hold my hand to try and understand what are you going through? What do you mean when you say ashes? And yeah,
Oh.
so
And I think when you mentioned that, I'm remembering how I decided to, launch the book, and I'm thinking sometimes overflow can come from the little things, very little things. You see, the way you're saying, you came to the venue, found one person, rushed to change, came back and found the place
an overflow of people.
of people. People were over. That means that you found fulfillment in those small details. Doesn't have to be something too big, but the little things that matter. You know, those things that you say silently into your heart and then you ignore them. God takes note of that. Because maybe that, if you came and still found maybe 2 more people only, maybe you will not have maybe that kind of peace that you needed to have for the whole entire afternoon. But when you're found people full and seated, it's changed the mood, even in your own heart. And you feel encouraged to actually continue with this.
And you're right. Actually, many people keep telling me, we expected you to be sobbing the whole afternoon as you gave your speech. But there was just a covering that came over me that I can never explain to today. So truly, pain is never wasted. And God can surprise you. So just keep moving, keep healing, and keep trusting. All right. So we can move on. I'd like to ask you another question. So, how do we stay open to unexpected forms of healing? Maybe we'll start with Neno. This one seems to have landed home.
You like the ones that I'm thinking, please don't start with me, you start with me. How do we stay open to unexpected forms of healing? How do I stay open as Neno? Age, that age thing, over time I have come to realize I have no idea what God is up to. Honestly speaking, I have come to realize his ways are surely not my ways.
Yes.
And so I've become, instead of becoming skeptical, I've become curious. I'm like, Lord, what do you intend to do with this? You know, when, for example, when we got our firstborn child and he was diagnosed with autism. And I'm like, what do you do with a child? They told you helpless. You know, what does someone do from there? And I thought the speech would come instantly as soon as we started praying. I thought everything will just turn out very well. Suddenly in a very short time, and that story will be behind us. And it was 1 year, and it was 2 years, and it was 4 years, and the dude is not saying a word, you know? Unexpected form of healing for us has been the fact that Joshua is our son, spoke eventually well, probably when he was about 7, 8 years. Those 8 years have translated to us being such an encouragement to other parents who have gone through the same thing that we have gone through. And so I say it's unexpected because for me, the unexpected part is the length of time sometimes the healing takes. Sometimes it's the fact that it's not a straight line, the roller coaster of it all. You think today he's speaking, tomorrow you realize he's not eloquent. The next day you realize, what is this guy talking about? Is he even with us? The next day you realize, no, he's speaking, but he has a challenge with concentration. The next time you realize all that and all that. So for me, it's been curiosity. When I was younger, I would get so skeptical. I'll be like, Lord, you can't do it. I doubt you can. I don't even think, anyway, it's really that important to you, is it? I'm just being sincere. So now I'm becoming very curious, including for him podcast. I'm very curious with God, what God wants to do with this assignment. I'm like, what's your plan? You know, who is that one person that he wants us to speak to?
Oh, yeah.
Who is that multitude? Where will we find ourselves speaking? Like the other time when we went to Rusinga, what does he have in store? So I'm now rewiring my mind to not expect doom, to not expect failure. And even when it comes, because it will, one of the days things may happen and it's not the way I thought it would be. Even in that, I anticipate God's healing. You know, I just anticipate. I'm like, Lord, I know you'll bring us out of this. I know you will heal this relationship. I know even if it won't heal in the way I think, there must be a way that you will bring out good out of this. Good must come out of it. I don't know how. I don't even know how the good looks like. But over time, I've come to appreciate, I don't know how God intends to do it, but I know he does. Yeah.
Wow. Disclaimer, ladies. The far we have come, imposter syndrome will not be a part of us.
Yeah.
Be ready. And for you, Ivy, you go too far.
For me, was the willingness to let go of how I thought the story should have been. Because I like having things figured out. Melancholics can relate.
We are not
I-
here.
Oh, they're not here. I like things, there's a time things will flow, and then there's a way, just one thing. I just like things planned. So the fact that I should let go of how I thought the story should have been, that one for me was tough, but it was necessary. Because I thought I will grow up with both parents, go to a normal school like every other child, get married, walk down the aisle with both parents. That was something for me. I was sharing someone, yesterday there was a wedding in church, and then I was sharing with someone. It hits differently when it is your own parent walking you down the aisle. And I was like, I missed that. And I pray my daughter doesn't miss it. Because I felt so, that morning I cried like a baby. Like, Mom, where are you? These are the things we said we will do together. And my tears just dropped. Even when I was walking down the aisle in church, if you see that video somewhere, I cried. Because I realized I have reached at the front of the altar and my mom is not there. This is what we dreamt. And I was like, I should be willing to expect God's kind of way and not just my way, because that was just how my thought process was centered on. Like, see the way the Kenyan dream, go to school, get married, build a home, have a chihuahua, have a million.
The Nairobian dream.
The Nairobian dream. You see, so what if it doesn't come out that way?
Yeah.
And you have to go a series of process in life that will begin to make you now unpack that from your mind and allow God's process in your life, So for me, it was the willingness to let go of how I thought the story should have turned out. Because the idea of doing life alone without her made me even feel like I don't want to get married. Because I was feeling like I don't want my children to go through the pain I went through when I left. That alone made me hesitate for a while. Do I really want this thing, or I just do life alone so that when I go, I don't have to distract anyone's life? I was just alone and I have God, So there was that fear a lot But the willingness to let go of that was something for me.
Called her. Wow. Oof. Who is cutting onions? Angie, how are you staying open to unexpected forms of healing?
I think one thing that I have acknowledged and appreciated is that God does not work the way we want. When my marriage went kaput, I was stuck in God will restore it. Then you realize God doesn't work the way you want him to work. He still ministers to you. He still, you enjoy the overflow without it being the way you expected. It is his way. So I have learned that things don't work the way I always want them to work. God has his way. And that was not, it wasn't easy, but it was good. I'm happy that I've learned that, because then it has taught me that, yes, there is what I want, there is what I pray, but I've learned to let God have his space so that I'm not, otherwise it's so easy for us to pray for something, get it the way you prayed, and you forget God. You think, or you expect God to be a robot. Every time I pray like this, 2-3 days down the line, you're like, hey, dude, why aren't you coming through? I expect you to be here now. So that's one of the ones that I learned. And then there's also when he answered when he comes in the unexpected. So I don't have children of my own. I had one who is late. So I don't have any children of my own physically here. But God has blessed me with 2 amazing girls. Yeah, I keep saying they loved me before I loved them. And I don't think I would have been able to receive that kind of love from them if there was someone else, So I think I expected, and of course you'll meet people who will say, no, your children are, but Sege and Vada have been my babies since when they were so young. They have, we've done things with them. But I'm like, wait, I don't know. Sometimes when you have, sorry to those who have children here, when you have children and grandchildren, and then there are fathers there, you want to do something with the children, but there has to be a consent, a protocol of sort. So I have these 2 girls who their parents are like, those are your kids. You do what you want with them. And I've been able to have that love that it is only God who would have been able to bring that kind of. So I've learned that serving in the children's ministry, that's, and you just open. God, do what you want. Now I have learned, and I think that's why it was even easy for me. One of the things that I think that made it easier even for me to be here, even with the For Him, is realizing, I can do Anora, the business that I do. So I am open to doing other things for the community, because I think if I was still in an office working, I would have wondered, how do I start, dealing in something? So it's to know that God has better plans. His plans are good. We are told before we were formed in the mother's womb, he knew us and he has designed our life. And what he plans for me as Angie, we say what is planned for us. It is for me as Angie is good and not of evil. It has made me just look back and say, wait. So it makes me every day expectant of what God is about to do. I've not cocooned him in that. Even when I think of getting married again, I've not cocooned him. I want this kind of a guy. I think nowadays I'm just like, you know what? When God brings, he will confirm and it will be easier. So it makes my heart lighter.
Yeah. So in essence, you're saying staying open means releasing the picture of what you have in your mind and allowing God.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Kabisa. Yeah.
Trusting God.
Trusting God. Yes. So for me, it means creating room. Openness, when something is open, it means you've allowed space. So allowing space where the good can come in, the overflow can come in. Because if someone was to walk in this room today, we are full. They may not be able to overflow, or they may never have to get space, space to be able to sit and have conversations. But creating a room for me has been through just writing, listening to people who have gone ahead of me, listening to mentors, reading books. I have 2 books I have bought, but I have not even opened a page. But I know, looking at the content, this is something that's going to propel and create more space. There have been moments when I was feeling numb. So staying open has been, for me, realizing the small steps that I am making towards healing. And a good example was when my marriage ended, there were seasons when I wasn't sleeping completely. I was awake for months and months because of anxiety, There is a way life was, and then there is the way life is right now. And it's such a new concept that my mind was trying to understand, what is this? How do I navigate life here? And I went for months without sleep. So healing has been, for me, realizing that there were now nights where I could sleep better, I could sleep longer, and there was no more palpitations, So slowly, very gradual. So just also paying attention to the small changes that are happening, small things that are taking place, and just allowing yourself space to walk, cook, travel, see the world, do the things you never wanted to do. I still want to learn how to swim. It's still in my bucket list. So, yes, lovely. So, I know even in me trying to learn how to swim, that would be a form of healing. Yes. So, it is. Yeah. Wow, amazing. All right, so we will continue with our conversation, and the next question is: we want to think about what mindsets shift. What mindsets shift when breakthrough comes? Ivy, do you want to take this one? I was just about to say Ned, and then I even lost.
For me, it was from fear to faith. Trusting the possibilities instead of thinking the worst.
Fear to faith.
Fear to faith. Because I told you, I realized when we asked that question in the previous episode, what made you discern that it is time to move? And he said, when I knew fear was the only thing that was driving me, I got up. And now the mindset that had to shift was from fear to faith. Trusting the possibilities instead of assuming the worst, because I'll keep on assuming what will happen, something bad will happen. I'm used to understanding how pain works, but I'm not used to understanding being okay. How does being okay feel? Because I'm so used to staying in tears, pain, allowing it to itch me so deeply. And now turning fear to faith and not thinking about the worst, because faith will show you possibilities. Fear will make you think the worst. Why sit here till we die? Fear will tell you, eventually I will still die. Faith will tell you, beyond this, there's a possibility. There's a future beyond being seated here. The lepers could not have found that gold or food if they still sat where they were seated. Faith when you take the step of faith, you'll find opportunities. That is the reason why we are here. I have an opportunity to sit with these beautiful cats.
tell you.
See the way they're beautiful. They're overwhelming me. They are beauty.
Look who's got it.
So faith has brought me here to be seated with you to share, to have these conversations and be able to share our journey. How are we healing? How are we feeling? For me, being okay was uncertainty, was some form of something I can't tap in. But fear was something I am okay with because I know it.
It's familiar.
So that mindset had to shift.
Yeah.
Another one, it was from hopelessness to expectancy. Because hopelessness will tell me I can't. Expectancy will show me what I can be. You know, and when you expect, you continue to grow and grow and grow into what God is calling you to be. But hopelessness will make you stay in the same place. In the previous episode, we talked and we said the greatest risk is not moving and failing. Again, the greatest risk is staying and never becoming
That's true.
what you
That's so true.
and never becoming what you could have been. So expectancy will make you come out.
Yeah.
When you expect, you begin to even see. Let me give you an example. When I was expectant with my girl, I desired Alexas. This girl had dreams. Pregnancy will show you that. I desired Alexas, RX 350 to be precise. So until now, every time when I open my Facebook page, all I see is Lexus.
The way I see Range Rover.
Yes.
I see.
So until I begin to see it, expect it, Mbaka, I'm now seeing it on the road. Like I'm walking, that's a Lexus. And I will tell my husband, babe, that's the car. And he'll be like, do you want it? I mean, yes. Okay. We change because now all my years I loved Outback. But now
It's a less.
it's a Lexus and it is and it is what I want. I don't want anything
And in the
else.
color you want.
And in the color I want, it is navy blue. Very clean and neat.
Yes.
So when you begin to expect things, you begin to even see them. At this point, I'm now seeing it on the road.
Yeah.
Like I can identify Alexas when it passes me. So that is what expectancy can really make you think. Like it makes you anticipate and you grow and you grow and you expect more and more because we grow from glory to glory. It is from faith to faith. You expect this now, you see the possibility of the next and the next and the next. So some mindset really needs to shift.
Yes.
Also, from survival to purpose.
That one is for Clara. That word is for her. You go to church and listen to
Preach it,
the word.
preach it. I'm taking notes. Survival to purpose.
To purpose. Because now you no longer just, you're not just getting by.
Yeah.
But you are actually asking what comes next. Purpose will tell you, okay, from here, what's next? Survival, we are just getting by.
Sure.
We are
day at a
living
time,
a day at a time. Yes.
Let's just breathe today.
Let's breathe today. Let's see how tomorrow will be for us to continue breathing. But purpose will keep asking you. Purpose will continue to ask you what's next.
Yeah.
Like the way when Neno shared about her book, we all asked her what's next.
Look, very busy
I'm
living your
asking you
life.
again. When is the next
Yes,
book?
the next book is coming in the next few months. Do I have a choice with all of you in my life now? What's next? What next? That's true.
Yes.
Purpose drives
So
you.
purpose drives you to what's next. You keep growing in it. Purpose will not let you just sit. The one of the characteristics of purpose that I've realized is like it continues to demand you to come forth into it, to be able to stay in it, like live in it. So purpose will call you in and in and in and in. But survival, let's breathe 1 hour at a time. Sometimes it is just a meal at a time. or 1 hour at a time. Let's breathe for now. Let's see if the next 1 hour something will happen. Yes, so some mindsets need to shift so that we can actually live into what God is calling us and live and heal in motion.
You know, as she's speaking, I've remembered the verse that Angie read. Was it in a few episodes ago? Verse 9 of 2 Kings 7. And those people, at first when they were at the gate, if you look at it properly, when they were at the gate, the lepers, all they were thinking about is themselves.
Yeah.
And they were only going in to get help for themselves. But the provision became so much that a mind shift happened. Then they're like, wait, what?
Yes.
We need to tell people. We need to talk to.
Yes.
That's a mind shift, right? Yeah, that's what you were saying. I'm like, wow. It gets to a place where you are now thinking abundance. You're even calling people into it. You're no longer thinking survival. You know, you're now thinking, how else can I help? Who can I call? Who can know about this very thing? So it's amazing how mindsets have to shift.
Yeah.
Or at least when breakthrough comes. In fact, again, I'm resetting the question for myself to answer it the way I'm seeing it. I feel like there are times that a breakthrough comes and then you have a mind shift. Or at times, God wants you to first have a mindset shift.
Yes.
So that you can allow the breakthrough to happen. Because I started writing Clothed in 2022. But honestly, if I could write it under a table, it was fine. Just like, it's just for a little secret. It's just for a little secret. But when I finally got to understand that this assignment is not even mine.
Yeah.
The book is not for me.
Yeah.
I can't have sat there writing a book all those days for myself. It can't be. When I understood that, I shifted my mind from, this is God's assignment. By the way, I am only a vessel. And if I mess around, by the way, he has many other vessels. He's the kind that can cause stones to write, if they could write, singers they can sing. And I understood, in fact, to be very honest, I felt like I delayed God's assignment, to be very, very honest. Because I had all the reasons, especially that I don't have money. I don't have money to launch a book. I don't know where. I'm even new in the church. I had a list. And he's like, you know what? This is my work. This is my doing. I need to do it now through you, and you need to move in the right direction. So for me, the mind shift, one of the biggest mind shifts I have had is from what I call meism.
Me, I, and myself.
Me, myself, and I, and my pity party, and myself. Meism to living for others. God is really teaching me that lesson to show me, by the way, you're not on this earth for yourself. You're not just existing for Neno. You're existing because you're someone else's answer to prayer.
Oh, yeah.
You're someone else's blessing. You're by you arising, by you getting off the gate, by me, let me speak to myself, by me just getting up and taking that step, I am answering another person's prayer. So the sooner I do it, the better.
True.
Yeah.
I can show you my DM. There are people who've read my book and they're like, thank you for writing that book, because I've gone through the same. And I feel like there is so much you're saying that is going to help me. And we don't realize that when we are going through problems and issues and troubles until you're able to come to a place of actually changing your mindset, like you're saying, and not doing it for yourself anymore. The fact that you girls have written books, it means that something inside of you changed. There was an internal shift that changed, that now makes you be able to even sit on this set and say, this is my life. You know, I'm sure there are people who've lived with Ivy for years. They've never had her story. They don't know her pain.
Yeah.
But through this session and episode, people will be able to know, okay. So, and this has happened because there was that shift. There's something inside of you that prompted you to be able to make this shift. So as we conclude, Angelica, how about you?
I think for me, the mind shift that I had is, as I said, one is not to put God in a box. He doesn't work the way I work. So to just have that open openness of God, do as you will. As long as I know it is you, me, I'm okay. Yeah. And then it makes me trust him more. Yeah. And confident that if he sends me to a space like for him, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because initially it would have been, I mean, even up to now, even as we talk, we are healing in motion, because some of the stories we are talking, if you told me I would have said anything like that, I wouldn't have said. But now it's to trust that because you've allowed me to be in this space, you have a reason for it. And as you've said, with the issue of purpose now, it calls you. And now I'm more open to hearing and appreciating where I am. Sometimes you go through divorce and you live regretting. You live regretting, oh, I wish. But it has helped me to be in a place where I appreciate that season.
Wonderful.
I appreciate it ended,
Yeah.
not because we were bad people, but because, hard as it may be to comprehend, God allowed it to happen, and I am where I am, and I am happy. I am joyful. That is one thing. Just to look and be able to talk, even just when you meet with someone and you talk without even meaning. Sometimes you'll talk to someone without meaning to say anything,
Yeah.
and they get, because you're talking from that which you've been through, yeah, and you hear somebody says, "Wait, yeah, now I look at this thing differently." So the mind shift is being open, allowing God to do more, and knowing that what I plan for myself as happiness might not necessarily be what God has planned, and I need to change and know it is God, not I.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. It is God. And my parting shots is, my prayer to God is that the Lord will use us to bring hope to the ailing world.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and for being part of this conversation. Thank you, ladies, for being vulnerable and sharing your stories, real stories. I hope someone has been encouraged, and you're gonna just seek God for yourself as you also look towards healing. Thank you so much. We want to wish you a good rest of the day, and we pray that you will be able to subscribe to this channel, you'll be able to like, and you'll be able to share with others. And until the next, bye-bye.
Bye.
And together we are the For Him podcast.